Oh, hey, good morning. Today is Tuesday, April 21st. Before I get started, I want to say I hope everyone's doing okay out there. And I want to encourage you guys to keep doing your assignments. We've been having a discussion about credit, no credit, and I did post a video yesterday about grades. If, you know, you're in a 50% range, and you're doing all your work, just do that. You're in the high 40s, just do all your work. If you're missing assignments and you're not sure where you'd end up, go back, do all your work. Let's see where the tea leaves fall, and hopefully that'll be good enough to get you to get to a credit situation. I have 3 goals today, and this lesson is actually going to relate to the idea of congruent triangles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a method to make identical triangles. And the next video I post is, I'll go a bit more into the explanation of the idea of what we're doing, but I think this video, it would be best if I just talked about how we make identical triangles. So I have 3 goals today. My first goal is I want to copy a segment, and when I'm copying a segment, I'm literally copying a length. So I want to copy this length onto here. The next thing I want to do is I want to copy an angle. So I want to take this angle, which, you know, angles are measured by how much they open, and I want to build it onto this. So I want to duplicate this angle over here. And my last goal is I'm going to copy a triangle. Now, remember, triangles are made up of segments and angles. And if I build these ideas in a certain order, I'm actually able to take this triangle and build an identical version down here by using these ideas. So I'd just like to go through the steps here and show you how to copy a segment, copy an angle, and then I want to talk about, want to copy a triangle. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to try my best not to trip over my dog who's laying on the floor here. And let me just double check and make sure that everything is in the video, and it is. All right. So I'm going to talk about my first goal, copying a segment, which literally I'm copying a length here. All right, so I'm going to hopefully be out of your way. So what I do is I would put the needle on one end, pencil on the other, come down here, and make a mark. I've just copied this length down to here. It's really easy to copy a segment or copy a length. So, yeah, so that's real easy to do. All right. The next thing I want to do is I want to copy an angle. To copy an angle takes a couple extra steps. It's still easy to do, though. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the needle here, and I'm going to make an arc. And I'm going to take that identical arc, and I'm going to put it over here. Okay? So there's a reason why I'm doing this, and I'll clarify that in a second. So I made identical arcs, and the reason why I made an arc here is I mentioned before that I'm copying how much it opens. And so what this arc is doing is it's giving me a distance to measure how much my angle opens at this distance. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure how much my angle opens. And I'm going to have to put my back to you for a second, so sorry about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the needle here and pencil here. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to copy that. Okay? And now I know how much my angle opens at this length out. So I've copied how much it opens at this length out. And now I can just connect the dots. And I have now copied my angle. Let's see how good of a job I actually did. Yeah, just like the classroom falling over everything. It looks like I've copied it pretty well to me. So, you know, again, copying of segments is pretty easy. Copying an angle is pretty easy. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy a triangle. Now, I want to copy the triangle in a certain order. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy an angle, then I'm going to copy a side or a segment, and then I'm going to copy another angle. Okay, so this building of an identical triangle, the pattern is called angle, side, angle. So I'm going to copy an angle, I'm going to copy a segment, which is the side, and then I'm going to copy another angle. So I'm going to build an identical triangle to this by copying this angle, this side, and this angle. Now, I could have built the identical triangle by copying this angle, this side, and this angle, or this angle, this side, or this angle. It doesn't matter what you pick, but for simplicity of where we're at, I think it's probably best that we do like this. So let me go ahead and get started. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy an angle. Okay, so I'm just going to write down the letters here. So I'm going to copy this angle. So I'm going to write down an A. Okay. So just like when I copied this angle, the very first thing I did was I made an arc, right? So I got to put my back to you, but again, needle goes here. I just make a nice arc. Come down here, do the same thing. I'm sorry, I'm blocking your view. And then the next thing I did, like I did over here, is I have to measure how much the angle opens. So I can now measure how much this angle opens. Needle goes here, pencil goes here. This is a little tougher because it's a smaller angle. Let's see if I can do it. Uh-oh. I'm having a hard time here. Okay, I hope that I did that well. Let me copy that angle. Pretty close. Pretty close, I guess. Alright, so the next thing I need to do is I need to copy a segment, right? So again, we saw how simple it was to actually copy this length. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my needle here, pencil there, make a mark, come down here and do the same thing. And so here I'm copying a segment. So I'm going to put my back to you for a second. Sorry about that. I know they say not to do that when you teach, but oh well. So I copied the segment length, right? Needle here, pencil here, needle here, pencil there. So I've copied an angle to side. I remember when I was in school, I thought I was going to be really funny. And I asked my teacher, Mr. Weeks, if you could copy a triangle by angle side side. And my teacher looked at me and he said, Chris, the only angle side side in this class is you. You cannot copy a triangle using that pattern. And if I have time, well, I have plenty of time. But if the lessons allow it and I can fit it in, maybe I'll just make a supplementary video to show you why there's no angle side side in geometry. Anyways, I got one more angle I need to copy. I'm going to copy this angle, so it's gonna look a little bit backwards. It's a reflection of what we've done, right? It flipped. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the needle here. I'm going to make an arc. You know, I can switch my hand. That might be this a little easier, and you can see what I'm doing. That would be a smart idea. There you go. So I'm going to make an arc. Let's see if I can do it backwards. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to make the same arc. All right, and now I need to measure how much my angle opens at that length. I'm going to come down here and copy that. Oh, it moves so much. Alright, and I hope that I did that right. So off. I better go for a third measurement here. Okay, I think it's that one. Alright, so let me connect those here. And I've copied the other's angle, side angle. And so if I just kind of erase this, and I erase this, it looks to me that I've pretty much built this triangle by copying an angle, then the side next to that angle, and then the angle at the other end of that side. So if I follow that pattern, I'm guaranteed to make identical triangles. And we call this way to make identical triangles angle side angle. So with this video, I just wanted to show you that this pattern of an identical angle, an identical side, and identical angle makes an identical triangle. Let me just kind of, clean up this a little bit, make it a little bit smaller. But again, we see that these triangles are identical. And now that I've built identical triangles, I can even go a little bit further, and write my congruent statement. So I said it, so I should probably go through with that. So, so I can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. Now remember, I went the angle I made, the angle I didn't, the second angle I made. The angle I made, the second angle, the angle I didn't, the second angle I made. So it's going to be triangle XZY. Okay, and from there you can list the congruent corresponding parts. So this video, there's no problems that I can ask you to do with these, but I was actually kind of thinking of a fun extra credit question. And here's my extra credit problem. I want you to build me a compass. Now, my compass is a string, and that would be like a kind of a cop-out. If you say, oh, here's my compass. I want to see how creative you can get building one, making one. I've had one of you turn one in, and it was really creative, and the one that you made is actually the inspiration for this question. So an extra credit question. And I'll put up an assignment for that. Make me a compass and show me you can make a circle with it. So the picture that you're going to send, and I'll clarify it in the directions, is you're going to make a circle with this compass you made, and you're going to lay the compass next to that circle, and you're going to take a picture of that, and you're going to upload it to Google Class. I think, again, that'll be kind of a fun little do-it-yourself, DIY project. So, again, I hope everyone's doing all right out there. I'm going to post the next video about the lesson, which uses the idea of this pattern, angle, side, angle. But again, I just wanted to show you why it worked, okay? So again, I hope everyone's doing okay out there, and I will post this video here in the next couple minutes, but I guess it's kind of irrelevant because you're watching this later. All right, have a good day, everybody.